Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of almost all ages, with parental consent, the sick twisted minds at Sacrificial Pond Productions brings you a new style horror film, like nothing you have seen before. There are no cops, no investigations. There is no backstory, no follow-up of the victims who were brutally tortured and murdered. Our story isn't about them. Normal Terror is about a single dad struggling to make ends meet. His son is his first priority. He goes to work, pays his bills, and is generally a great dad. The twist comes after he puts his son to bed. This is where he releases his stress. Some people do yoga, some hit the gym, some go for runs, some people paint on a canvas. An anonymous source once wrote on an abandoned asylum wall, "I never understood people until I took one apart just to see how it worked." If you are rear-ended in traffic, most people's thought runs to anger and their primal instincts of hurting the other party. Sam Neill does not have the ability to stop that primal instinct. Let us take you into the mind of a killer. Normal Terror is a concept from the mind of Sam Mason, who wrote, directed, produced, and is starring in this new age feature film.
Let's get slicing and dicing with Sir Sturdy horror fans. On this podcast, you will hear me and a guest do some movie reviews, random funny horror chats, and whatever else comes to mind. So tune in, kick back, relax, and always remember, I'll see you in your nightmares.
Well, there's Jason's mask.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello again. Welcome to another fun, exciting, creepy episode of Horror with Sir Sturdy. And I have my guest slash one of my many co-hosts, Matt, with me today. Matt, what's up?
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, and it's Friday, and it's Friday the 18th of June, 2018. There's a trailer that came out. I don't know if you heard about this trailer coming out today, Matt, but the Halloween trailer.
Oh yeah, had to see that when it came up.
And what did you think?
After watching it, I was realizing, okay, they're not going the original route they wanted. Thank God. When it was supposed to take place between 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
So this takes place way after everything occurs. Because Laurie Strode is now older. She's got the long gray hair. I'm like, good. They didn't do that other route they were supposed to do. So she's prepared. I guess she lives through H2O. So I'm like, or was it the end of Resurrection she died? Yeah, end of Resurrection. Yeah. So we know she actually lives through Resurrection.
Well,
and
before you get into that next thought, though, I thought that this was supposed to be like a direct sequel from the first one, and the rest never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the hell they're doing. I just know it looks pretty good. It looks good.
Yeah, look, it definitely went. They did a little Rob Zombie route with him in the psych ward. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. And they talk about Loomis, how he got shot by Loomis and everything. So I don't know. I want to see more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of interested to see it. I'm not like all gun ho. Oh my god, I got to see this right away. But I want to see more. So hopefully this does pay off. We'll see.
I'm actually really excited about it. Like, I was just talking to my brother Henry. I was just texting him, whatever, and he said the part that really got him like excited, like I gotta fucking see this movie, is the part where the girl's in the bathroom and he drops the teeth over the stall.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, that's something right there that'll get you a little excited for this movie. So yeah, that right there was like, okay, that was a good. It was a good trailer overall, though. It really was, and I hope it's not like. We've talked about this the last episode. We've probably discussed this in a few episodes about having high expectations for horror movies, and I have a very high expectation for this movie. I know I shouldn't, but it's like it's one of those things where it's like it's a classic horror movie. It's not just like they're coming out with a new horror movie, scariest movie in the world, blah blah, all that bullshit. Like it's a classic movie. You grew up on these movies, and it's like you want this. These are the type of movies that it has to be done right. There's no middle ground. It has to be done right. I have high hopes for it. I know I shouldn't, and I can't wait to see it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm keeping my hopes kind of low. Just keep it at the down low, see how it goes. Like usually give out the trailer and then all right, then they'll probably put on another trailer to show a little bit more and you're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, okay, now we're starting to build this up." So hopefully we'll see how it goes. I did like she had like a shooting range that she made with like plaster casts of
Yes,
different like mannequins.
that was
Like
good.
here she goes. She's getting prepped.
That was good. And it's, man, I mean, I know we can only say what we've seen in the trailer, which really isn't much, but I have high hopes for it. And what I'm actually hoping for with this is that excuse me, I hope this movie does really good in theaters. I hope it ends up being a really, really good movie. And I hope this makes it so, and I know people say I'm tired of remakes and reboots. I don't give a fuck. I hope this makes it so they finally bring out another Friday the 13th movie. I know they did in '09, but it'll be nice for them to do one and not necessarily copy what the Halloween thing's doing with the 40 years and all that, because that's kind of a different story, but kind of copy the It thing, how they did it. Obviously, it's a new movie that they did last year with It, but have it so it's like the '80s feel, but
Hmm.
just you know what I mean, like the '80s feel. I say with the Friday the 13th movie, have the practical effects, updated, more up to date stuff, but practical effects, but the '80s feel and all that, and just go all out with it. Like make a really good movie, make an excellent movie with this. They can do it, but I feel like with if Halloween does good, that might start making. I'm not like again. I'm saying I know some people hate. I love remakes and reboots. I really don't care what other people think about that. But I feel like if this movie does really good, not even necessarily as good as it, because it did an excellent job. They might
Holy
do a
crap!
few
It
more.
blew the box offices
Yes,
away. That was
yes.
weird.
This might make it so when they do, their little reboots or remakes or whatever, they'll have more confidence in them. They'll put the right team around it and really go, balls to the wall with it. Like I want to see, real quick before we get into what we're going to talk about, what the hell is it? Pet Cemetery. That was rumored to be a remake. They're supposed to be redoing that, and I believe. Don't quote me on this, and I have a computer right next to me, a laptop. I just don't feel like looking it up. But don't quote me on this. But I believe the same people who did it are going to be doing the Pet Cemetery movie, which would be great because I think they did a really good job with that.
I heard that rumor too.
And I didn't read the book of Pet Cemetery yet. I have it, but I'm going to start reading that eventually. And I'm kind of hoping. Like I said, I haven't read the book yet, but I'm hoping that they do kind of what they did with it, kind of make it more closer to the book. Not obviously not exact, but just closer to the book than they do to like the older movie. Just because I think that'll give it that big. You know what I mean? It'll be a lot. It'll be better. Put it that way. It'll be a lot better.
Hmm.
But do you have anything you want to add to that? To either one of those movies?
I know they're doing a remake of The Blob, which I
Ooh,
can't wait. Hopefully that will do well.
nice.
What's his face? Samuel L. Jackson's going to be in it.
Oh man, you know he's gonna say motherfucker in it.
This
He's gonna, yeah,
motherfucking Blob.
yes, and I
I
hope
don't
he
know.
does.
Say, but I hope that does go through. It was a rumor, but now it says it's true and everything. So you never know with the internet.
Yeah,
And with the whole Pet Cemetery thing, yeah, I've read that whole.
the book.
I've read the book a long time ago. I got to reread it. The book was really good, and of course I love the movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that they do this right too. If they did it right, and they did, now we gotta wait for chapter 2 to come out, and hopefully chapter 2 is even better than the first one.
And the first
'Cause-
one was real good, but
yeah,
I agree. I hope you hope that the sequels are better because as good as
hmm,
that at the very least, I hope it's as good as the first one, if not better. I'll say that.
right. Well, we'll just wait and see. So hopefully we'll see.
Yeah, we definitely will, man. So jumping into the Piranha movies, we can start out with I guess the 3D one.
Okay.
Oh man, I'll I'll let you take the lead on this. So, what were your thoughts on this movie?
I loved it. I saw this in the theater with my wife, and we did see it in 3D.
Nice.
It was actually the shit came at you, which was awesome. just in the opening and beginning,
Hmm.
this movie is pretty much Piranha 3D is kind of like the original, but also different because with this version, it starts with an underground tremor, and it opens up another underground lake underneath a lake. And then this underground lake has a bunch of prehistoric piranha that have been living there ever since, and they've been going against cannibalism and everything, eating each other to stay alive. So after this tremor, these piranhas are now loose in this giant lake during spring break, where there's a ton of college kids partying, drinking, boozing it up. So of course, you got yourself a nice smorgasbord of gore coming into this film.
Oh,
I love the cameos. Right in the beginning, you have Richard Dreyfuss in a boat singing "Coming the Way to Go Home." What kind of nod to Jaws is was perfect for that? Everything. He's even drinking a beer called Amityville beer
nice.
because it takes place in Amityville for Jaws. Not
Hmm.
not Amityville, but how you say it, Amityville or whatever it is
I know.
for.
I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the island or whatever, the place.
I know it's like Amityville Island or anyway, but anyway, he's drinking a beer from that island from Jaws as well. So the whole first scene is completely homage to Jaws, and wow, you know what you're getting into right off the bat.
Oh my goodness! Like I loved the goriness, the viciousness, and I liked. You know what I liked about this movie, and it worked for this movie too. Besides the gore and all that, was
Hmm.
the cheesy, corny comedy in the movie was so fucking perfect for it. Like it just fit. It made sense for this movie,
Hmm.
and I was just like, wow, this. I really like this movie. Like it.
And freaking Jerry O'Connell plays the most biggest dick in this whole film. He's an
Hmm.
asshole.
Yeah,
It's
he does.
perfect.
He does. He did a great job at it. Yeah, Vin Raines as the deputy, which
Yep.
I freaking loved it. And you guys already know how we jump around with this podcast, so I'm just gonna jump right to where he took the freaking thing off the boat, the motor, whatever. I don't know much about boats. The
Yeah. So
propeller thing.
yeah.
Started that up. I was like, everybody get out of the water and just fucking turn that shit on, just cutting up fish and fucking going. Oh my god, that was so awesome. His
Yes.
that movie was just fucking. It was crazy. It was crazy, and it makes me want to stay out of water even more. Even though I know it was a fake movie, but still, like I. Oh my gosh, it was just so much shit went on in that movie. But it was one of those movies where it actually all fit together. Because you had like a few different stories. You had the one kid who was supposed to be watching his little siblings,
Hmm.
but the girl had invited him. He had no, not the girl, the guy that what you
Jerry
call it?
O'Connell pretty much says, oh, we need a local to
Yeah,
show us around. So
yep.
he kept calling him Sandrat. He's like, come on, Sandrat, we're gonna hire you to go on this boat to show us around.
And he did.
Of
And like
course.
he was supposed. Of course, kids don't listen. He was like, telling his brother and sister, listen, stay home, don't leave the house, don't answer the phone. Here's $60. They conned him at his $60. His
Hmm.
sister really did. His little sister. Of course, they don't listen. As soon as he's gone good, what do? They hop in the boat. They hop in a little canoe to go fishing. They get stuck on the island.
All,
And what was I gonna say? Like,
it,
oh, go ahead.
of course, he goes against his mom's wishes too and goes on the boat.
Oh yeah.
And of course, the little kids get stuck. They gotta go rescue them. And of course, the big boat gets stuck. And of
Hmm.
course, it leads to everything for this.
Oh yes.
So, did you ever watch the special features to this movie?
No, I didn't. I don't own it. I actually just watched it on the Fire Stick.
Okay, there's a cool commentary where they're talking on how they made this movie. The lake is in between California, an Indian reserve, and I want to say Arizona
Hmm.
or whatever states near it. It's in three different areas. So they had to, when they filmed it, they had to say, okay, this area you can't be in the water to film. This area you have to be in the water, but you can't be on the ground. So they were talking on how they had to do all these shots. I'm thinking, wow, they actually had to take a long time to make this movie. I thought that was really interesting in how they did that.
Yeah.
especially like when little kids were on the island. Okay, they had to be on this spot, but then of course they had to move the boat over. I was, wow. But it was pretty cool because you also have a cameo of Christopher Lloyd. I was
Yes.
surprised that Christopher Lloyd was in this. He
Back
plays
to the
a
Future.
fish expert slash owns an aquarium or a fish store or whatever local. I was waiting for him to say "Great Scott."
Great Scott! Look at these fucking piranhas. Oh man, why didn't he say that?
I was hoping he would say that, but unfortunately he didn't. I'm like, come on! But him as the fish expert played well because he was there. He understood what this piranha was. He had a giant fossilized fish to say, hey, this is a prehistoric piranha. This is actually the real original piranha.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh wow, they're going this route. Nice. So there's no mutation, there's no genetics or anything, nothing bred. They're just the real deal.
Which was
And
just, you know what I did like too. What you brought up in the beginning was the lake under the lake. I thought that was a great idea. It was something different,
hmm
and like it was just cool because it was they opened the lake under the lake, and then you have these prehistoric piranhas that are just fucking vicious little bastards.
and the egg stalks.
Mm-hmm.
There's just tons of them. You're like, oh wow.
Fuck.
And then when the diver hits the egg stalk, you see the little egg float around, and the camera pans off to it, and it shows the little egg embryo, and it like jerks and starts moving. It's like, uh oh, this shit's real down here.
It's about to go down.
Yes.
It's about to go down. So like, oh man, I wish I could have seen this in like 3D though. It would have probably been so much more amazing and fun. Just the aspect of seeing the shits jump out at you and just
The propeller
oh my
scene,
god,
that's right in your face. It's like,
that's
you,
awesome.
unfortunately, you get a big dick in your face because when when a guy gets his dick bit off, it's floating there and it's just floating in your face. You're like, ah, great. There's a dick in my face. All right.
Oh shit.
And then the piranha eats it and burps up. Now I got a half bitten dick in my face. All right.
Man. Well, I'm glad I didn't I'm glad I didn't have to see that in 3D. But still, like,
But still, a lot of the scenes were great in 3D. Like even like in the opening scene when they show Piranha, when Richard Dreyfuss was getting destroyed in this whirlpool,
mhm.
the 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 words come up right at you. It's like, oh wow, nice. I'm just sitting there going, oh. I look at my wife. My wife looks at me and going, this is gonna be freaking insane. And then, boom.
Oh my goodness, insane for this movie wasn't even the word. This was just like I'm wondering who came up with this idea for for this movie. And we're gonna be talking about the '78 one, which we can just throw in there right now too. Like, who came up with this idea for the movie? I feel like it was a really good idea because you don't like Killer Piranhas. And the crazy thing about it is like, if you don't know about piranhas for real, this movie would really freak you the fuck out. I only know about piranhas because I watched River Monsters and I seen that guy catch them and swim with them and all this other crazy shit. But it's like these things, as soon as they felt a vibration in the water, that's it. They're coming. And when they smelled blood, shit. Oh my goodness. Which
Feeding frenzy.
brings me to, we can jump back and forth with this one and the '78 one. But what brings me to the one from '78 when they were, remember when they were on the raft
Mm-hmm.
and was it the kid's dad that was dead on the raft with them or like dying, or
No,
was it the other
no, that
guy?
was the doctor that was breeding the fish
Okay, because
and kept the thing going.
remember when his hand was in the water and the blood was, they smelled the blood, so they started coming after the raft and like chewing up the raft, the ropes around the raft or whatever. I was like, wow, these motherfucking fish. And they threw the body in the water, and the little kid, the thing that had me a little confused for a second because I could have sworn the kid said that's my father, but maybe he said that's what happened to my father.
No, he says that's what happened to my father, but also he was going in kind of a shock
Okay.
because he's watched his dad get devoured,
Yes. Okay.
and so he goes into shock. So he thinks that's his dad too as well. So that's why he's going. That's what happened to my daddy, but that's my daddy because he's kind
Yeah,
of losing it.
makes sense. That's what kind of got me a little mixed up with that. So I'm just like, holy shit! Like these fish are fucking incredibly vicious. Excuse me. Incredibly vicious. I wasn't expecting it to be that gory and that vicious, and I'm glad it was. because it has to be for something like that. Like you can't have a
Hmm.
piranha movie being, not not what that was, I should say. And like the first one though, the one from '78, they the people with the guy and the girl, I'm guessing they're dating. They're going on a little walk or whatever. I guess they're going on a nature walk. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're camping. They see the sign, no trespassing. Of course, they ignore it, go under the fence, go right. They go right to the damn water. I'm thinking about. I'll be thinking about myself. Like, okay, we're in the middle of the woods, right? You see it something that's fencing that says no trespassing.
You don't go in it.
There's usually a good reason for no trespassing, and to trespass at night is even worse. I'm like, you can't see shit. So
Hmm.
so you go in there. You see that there's water in there. Oh yeah, hey, the water's, put their hand in the water. Yeah, we should just clean up in the water. Yeah, that's a great idea. The guy's kind of skeptical about it at first. Doesn't she call him like a chicken shit and push him in or something? I know she pushes him in
No,
the water.
no, they
What?
said in the original there, she puts her hand in the water, going, "Oh, the water's great. Let's go for a night swim."
Okay.
And he was like, "I don't know." She was like, "Come on." So he goes, "Okay, fine." So he dives in first, and then she dives in, and they're swimming, and he's like, "Oh my God, something bit me," and she's like, "I didn't bite you. I didn't do anything to you." And all of a sudden, he starts getting attacked, and gets pulled under the water. Then of course you pan to the moon, and all of a sudden you hear her scream.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden there's the end of the dock, and her bloody hand comes up, and she
Yep.
slowly goes back in the water.
Which was so great, so great, and that's why you shouldn't trespass, kids.
Yeah, no, don't trespass. You never know what the hell.
It could be a piranha. You don't want to get eaten by a bunch of piranhas for trespassing, breaking the
No.
law. But yeah, I really did enjoy both of these movies, and like now I want to see more piranha shit. I really do. I'm like, okay, now I want to see more piranha movies. I want to see more like animal movies in general, with the horror genre. But I'll just stick with the water, like the more piranha movies, more shark movies. I actually,
Well, for piranha movies, you do have the 1995 TV remake of the original 1978 film.
okay,
And actually stars, and that doesn't star, but it's Mila Kunis's very first movie role.
ooh,
She plays the little girl.
wow, that's interesting. It's
And
very
they did
interesting to know.
in '81. They did Piranha 2: The Spawning, which supposedly James Cameron directed, but he only did a little bit of it. But he's
Hmm.
still under the name of it. It has to do with piranha that are mutated into flying fish. So if
Holy
you want a
shit!
B horror movie, Piranha 2: The Spawning.
I think we're gonna have to, maybe not next episode, but I think we're gonna have to do that one. And I watched, not I watched, sorry, I actually put it on my list. Jurassic Shark and Piranha Shark. I was like, what the fuck? Yes, I have to watch these
Yeah, it's
soon.
the same film. Just two
Jurassic
different names.
Jurassic Shark and Piranha Shark.
I think so.
I have to check that out.
Because I know in some case, like in like UK, they'll put one film as a different name,
But it's the same
which,
exact.
but it's the same thing. So you got to watch out for that.
Okay, I'll check.
But
Yeah.
oh,
Oh no, I was gonna say I'm definitely gonna check that out to see. Because after I watched
there is a sequel to the Piranha 3D movie.
the Double D,
Yeah, 3 Double D as a sequel.
I want to see that. I have that on my list too. I think.
It's good, but it's not awesome. They could have made it even better,
Okay.
but it was still good.
Not as
And
gory or
no, it's gory. It's got a lot of boobs and everything. It takes place in a
boobs.
water park.
boobs and blood.
A lot of boobs and blood.
Well, in a water park. That has to be interesting. Now I gotta. Yeah, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it. You had me sold at boobs and blood.
Yeah, that one takes place in a water park, and it says right after the events of Lake Victoria, so they kind of continue it after this movie.
Okay.
And Sci-Fi Channel made a movie called Mega Piranha
Wow.
about piranhas that are when they eat, they get bigger and bigger and bigger. So now they're eating like helicopters and boats and shit like that. It's off the wall. Holy crap! What the hell am I watching? But it's fun.
That's interesting. That's funny though. I'll tell you what. These movies were way better than Sharknado. But I mean, that's not hard to do. I I can't help it when I talk about like a shark movie or something in the water that eats people. I always bring up that movie just because it was so bad.
I
Did
love underwater animal movies. They're just you're in their environment, so you like if you're on land, you could probably outrun certain creatures that are
some,
coming after you.
yeah, some of
Some,
them. But when you're in the water, you're not out swimming anything.
no, they're in their environment. They can swim faster than anybody can. They're probably faster than Michael Phillips there, whatever his name is,
Oh hell
and
yeah.
they'll devour you. And if you can't swim, you're done. So, best bet, stay out of the water.
Hmm.
And in fact, well, actually, for Piranha 2, just stay away from everything. I'll give you that. Because they could fly.
Flying fish piranhas. That's something right there.
It's so bad, but it's so good to watch. I know a lot of people don't like it. I love watching it. Scream Factory's going to be putting it out on Blu-ray soon, too.
Really.
Yep, I have the DVD, so I'll be upgrading that for sure.
Speaking of which, not Scream Factory, but the horror pack thing.
Hmm.
They have. I'm sure you've heard about it. They're doing a coffin box now.
I signed up for it, so hopefully they said it was be shipping end of last month, but we haven't heard anything.
I'm thinking about signing up for it. I kind of want to see what they have in it, but I kind of want to sign up for it because I'm like, I know it's like a bi-monthly thing now,
Hmm.
but it's I guess you get what is you get one movie, a shirt,
Uh,
and then like
Shirt,
a couple other.
a magazine, I
That's
think,
right.
for Rue Morgue, and a collectible, and it's like $20. I said, okay, I'll try it once. I like to try at least like a blind buy once to see if I like it or not.
Hmm.
Like I did Horror Block for quite some time. I liked it.
Me too. I loved it. And
Horror Pack was okay, but I have a lot of the movies, so Horror Pack is awesome for people who don't have a huge collection. So if they want to start collecting or start, getting that, I highly recommend doing a Horror Pack
hmm
because you get the 4 films. I did Loot Crate for a little bit, but Loot Crate kind of got a little stupid for me, so I canceled that. So I'm trying this out to see how this coffin box is. So I'm kind of excited. So hopefully this month we're supposed to get it.
oh, I definitely got to see an unboxing when you do it.
Yep, I'll be definitely doing an unboxing. I can't wait.
And like I'm thinking about it, but maybe I'll wait and see what you get first because I just want to see what they have. Like what you'll possibly get. I know it's gonna be different every month, but my main thing, honestly, is I love horror shirts.
Hmm.
Absolutely love them, and it's like if I can find a box that's between $20 and $30 a month or every other month or whatever, and get an awesome shirt every single time, I'm cool with that because you're paying just for the shirt alone. If you're buying online, you're paying about $25-$30
Right.
around there, and that include, you know what I mean. And that's before that. Sometimes that's even before shipping. So it's like if I can get
Hmm.
that shirt, a movie, a magazine, and a couple little horror trinkets, hey, why not? You know?
Yeah, I'm kind of excited. So I hopefully we get some information on when this is getting shipped. So once it gets shipped, there will definitely be an unboxing.
I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait. So, with these two fishy movies that we that we watched here, you got like I said, with the 3D one, you got the guy who's thinking with the wrong head, pretty much, because he goes on the boat and a bunch of crazy shit happens, and it's like, when or not when? How? What's weird is like, how come people don't really know too much about it? You know what I mean? Like the
For what?
for the piranhas
Oh, for in
for
the
the
3D.
yeah.
I think it's just because it happens so quick. Because
Okay.
it happens within a day. Because when when Redford Dreyfuss there gets killed, they're already starting their feeding. So the
Hmm.
next day they find the body. They find that body at night. The next day, that's when everything all just hits.
Okay.
That's when the big attack occurs. That's when they capture the fish in the beginning. So it's like all in one day, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. But That's one thing I feel like with this one. I'll say is if they had like a. I know everything happens so fast, like you're just saying, but like say if they had like a story as far as or like a maybe not even you could say a true story, like a rumor story. You know, like they have the campfire stories of like,
Hmm.
there's piranhas in this lake. There used to be piranhas in this lake, like say millions of years ago, or let's say hundreds of years ago, and somehow we got them blocked off under the lake in another lake. Just, just to have that, not necessarily build up because it started out crazy, but just to have something, a little
Nah,
something there. I guess.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
this needed it.
You don't
What
think
it
so?
was is just there. No one knew about an underground
The
lake,
lake,
so no one knew anything about that. Just it was just a lake on top of a lake.
the lake on top of.
Earthquake hit, and that's what it opened up, and that's when all chaos just occurs. Like it just goes from like a normal day. Let's say you go in the woods and you don't hear anything, like you're having a good old time. Then all of a sudden, maybe a little earthquake happens, and something comes from the ground and it starts attacking people.
Yeah, that's
But
true too.
there's no like folklore or anything. You don't hear anything, so you're like, nah, whatever. This just happens. This is
Hmm.
what this movie was. It just happens. So there's no backstory to the lake. There's no like any what's the word I'm trying to think? There's no like specific warnings like, oh, there's no sea monster or anything
Yeah.
like that.
No, you got a
Didn't
point
need
there.
it.
You got a point there with that because it does give it like more of a oh shit factor without that extra
Right.
story to it, which that again it worked for this movie so well. And it's funny though because like I'm not saying I was iffy going in on these movies. Well, actually, I was iffy on going in on the 3D one because I watched that one first, and then with the 78 one, I was like, you know what, I already know it's gonna be a fun movie because you know how sometimes you go in on these. Well, it can be any type of horror movie, but say with a lower budget movie or the B movie, you're like, uh, I'll watch it, and then you watch it and you don't like it, so I was like, oh shit, I hope this is good and shit. Well, then like what the first 10, 15 minutes, if that, you see some shit going on. I'm like, okay, this right here works. This I like this. I
Hmm.
like this. Like this was one of those movies where like it can't have a slow burn to it because the type of movie it is.
No.
Like there was just a bunch. I mean, there was some quote unquote slow parts, but they weren't too bad. They were the little comedy parts that you needed for this movie, and it was like there's always something going on, always something going on. With the kids getting trapped on a little island. The brother going off with the girls and having his little fun. But there was like always something kind of going on, which I enjoyed, and just I don't know. I'm glad I watched it though. I can definitely tell you that. I can definitely tell you that. What do you got to say about it?
My only one gripe was they never showed the one guy get killed. The one that had the sunscreen on his nose. He was the cameraman.
Oh, I'm trying to
The-
think.
When the
Cam-
boat runs into the rocks,
okay.
the blonde chick, Jerry O'Connell, and the guy with the sunscreen on his nose all fall in the water.
Hmm.
And of course, you see the blonde girl getting devoured, and Jerry O'Connell throws her back into the piranha so he can get away. But you don't see anything happen to him. But unfortunately, you don't see him for the rest of the movie. So I've kind of figured, well, he got eaten.
That's true.
I kind of like, oh, where's his? Unless they had to cut it for scenes. But I wish they showed him get killed.
Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah. You're right about that.
But the rest of the movie is so much fun to watch. You got this huge people partying on boats, all these girls dancing.
Hmm.
You got the one girl parasailing topless, and what college kids would be doing: drinking, partying, boozing up, and of course not listening to law enforcement saying, you need to get out of the water, you need to do this. I also love the cameo of Eli Roth in this movie as well.
Yes, he was
Another
the.
cameo.
Oh, what the hell was he?
He was the wet T-shirt
Boom.
announcer,
Yes. 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 Which was
and
cool.
again, his death scene was fantastic. His head gets crushed between two boats while he was in the
Lord.
water getting bitten.
Not.
It
Not
just
bad.
crashed. I was like, holy fuck. But you got a lot of little cameos in this. Again, this movie is awesome if you love boobs, blood, and gore because it has it all.
I love all
Uh,
three.
Again, it's kind of like a remake from the original,
Hmm.
but they added their great twist to it, being underground water versus government-made piranha. Takes place in this type of lake. And of course during spring break. Oh, fantastic film.
Perfect time.
If you chance to get the Blu-ray, highly recommend. The Blu-ray's beautiful. Comes with the 3D version and the 2D version,
Nice.
and got a lot of cool commentary and stuff to it. Overall, out of a possible 10, oh sorry, go ahead. I know we're probably not doing ratings. I'm jumping ahead.
Oh man, I'm just sitting here listening like this. It was an exciting movie for both of them, and we can jump right into the ratings if you want, and we can keep discussing it or whatever after too. So how many piranha bites would you give this movie?
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That's I'm shit. I'm damn near right there with you. I think I'm gonna have to give it an 8.5 out of 10 though for the 3D one,
Nice.
and then for the 78 one, shit, it's pretty much up there with it. Honestly, like it wasn't bad at all. You know, like I loved the gore from it. I liked how you know what I did like about the 78 one too was the little girl that was like scared to go in the water the whole time. She sees
Mhm.
people in trouble. She grabs a raft and goes. You know, she helps everybody. And like it was just both these movies were well done. I'm gonna give them both an 8.5 actually. 8.5 piranhas out of 10
Nice.
piranhas. And
With the original too, we didn't really talk much about it, but the original is a government testing
yeah,
piranha, and they were going to use it for the wars and everything, and they kept them in this little pond. Well, this woman was hired to find the original backpackers that
Mhm.
were killed in the beginning. She opens up the pond to drain it, and of course they're like, "No, don't do that."
Yep.
And of course that's what gets piranha into this uh, stream or this weird lake, and you have some pretty good kills in this one as well. Plus, you have two different, like in the remake, the 3D version, you have your giant uh, spring break all attack gore scene. Here, you kind of have two of them. You have the little kids at the water race, and then you have the opening of the resort later on.
Yeah.
And you
The-
kind of feel sorry for the kids because they're getting attacked by the piranha. A couple of them don't make it. It shows the one guy covering up a little kid's corpse. So they kind of went the way like, you know what, we got to kill some kids.
What
Just because.
I wasn't mad at that though because it's like
I wasn't mad either. I need
it's
that.
it sucks when that happens in movies, you know, but it worked for this because it wouldn't have made sense if none of them did die in it. Like if they were just like, okay, so somehow all these kids are in the water, but nothing happens to any of them.
Right.
So it was fun, it was cool, funny, and like I liked how the kids acted in the movie, like how they were like, you know, when all that shit's going down, how they actually looked scared or like screaming and
Mm-hmm.
hollering and all that stuff. Because sometimes, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not like I'm an actor, but sometimes kids don't cooperate. We all know that
Right.
part, and like they did it real well, and they really like I wasn't really when that what as a matter of fact when that scene started to come up with the kids in the water and the piranhas were near, I was like, are they gonna take it this far to where they're gonna actually kill him, or are they gonna have like maybe one of the adults die, maybe one kid get bit but not die? But no, they went with it, and
Mm-hmm.
it really worked for this movie. Like I said, it's not like a like, you know, I'll say like with slasher fix, 9 times out of 10 they're not gonna really harm the kids. They'll scare them. Perfect example: Friday the 13th part. What was it
5.
5? No, not that one. Part 5 was one with the kids in it, but there was another one. Part
4.
remember? Yeah, is that the one where the little girl was praying? Or no, that was 6.
Nope, that was 6.
Part 6,
6 was.
where Jason came in the cabin. The girl sees him. She starts praying. Now lay me down to sleep, and he like gets all up in her face and just looks at her, and he hears something outside and goes back outside. Like
Mm-hmm.
for slashers, I'm not saying it's unnecessary, but it's not as necessary. But for a movie like this, it just fits. It it really did. It was cool,
Mm-hmm.
fun
I
fucking
love some
movie.
of the comedy in this too with the general. He's boarding the raft at the end, and this big woman comes up to him and goes, "Oh, are you a general now?" And he's like, "No, I'm a colonel." "Oh, why is that?" And he's like, "Politics." And he walks away. He goes, "Fat cow." I'm
Yes,
like, wow.
it was unnecessary, but I mean, shit. If that's how he felt, he felt. He has the right
One of
to
my
feel that way.
one of my favorite lines in the original was when Dick Miller's on the phone with I think the maybe a TV show. His assistant comes up to him and goes, "Sir, the piranha." He goes, "What? Don't mind me about the piranha." He goes, "Sir, the piranha." And he puts the phone down and goes, "What about the piranha?" "They're eating the guests, sir."
Yes, and he said it so calm, like look,
Yeah, that's so calm.
like,
They're eating the guests, sir.
like a casual,
Uh oh.
like a casual comment. Like yeah, these piranhas, man, they're eating the guests. Like he didn't seem like me. I'd be yo, the piranhas are fucking eating people out there, motherfucker. Get out there, let's shut the shit down. Come on, like let's show some emotion. Let's get hype. But he's like, yeah, they're eating the guests. Like that the way he said it was like this shit happens every day. And it's just normal. Like oh, again.
All right, they're eating the guests. You told me not to worry about it,
Yep.
so I'm not worrying about it.
Oh man, it was this fucking movie, man. Both of them. People. Here's another one. People eat fish. Fish don't eat people. Like yes, these motherfuckers do because there's people getting eaten out there.
Yes, and these are based on real piranha from I think near Africa or something.
Okay.
But they took like African piranha and they mutated them so they can live in salt water and in normal water, which I thought was pretty neat.
I did too, and that really pointed out to me towards the end. Remember the lady that was in the movie? Oh, what the hell was her? What was her name? But she was like a fish expert, so she was some sort of expert. And how they were asking her like, what if they get into the ocean? Can they live in the ocean? And she said no, but she had this look on her face like, yes, they can, and I hope they do get to the ocean because she didn't look like because the camera like zoomed in on her face after she said this. This was like towards the end of the movie, and then they show a picture, they show the ocean, and then you hear that.
I love that ending.
They show
with just the ocean, and then you hear it.
You hear the music, whatever the hell that shit was with the piranhas coming around, that little noise that they do, or whatever the fuck it was. You hear it. I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck is gonna happen next? Does this go into the sequel? And you're saying they're flying fish now, so that's fucking awesome.
It's different though with this one. They're in I forgot exactly where they're located, but they find a sunken ship, and in this one they were bred on this ship that was sunk, and all the eggs were in the boat. So the original doesn't go into the remake. It doesn't go into the sequel.
Oh,
the sequel's
man.
completely different.
I mean, I know either way, it's probably still gonna be a fun movie, but it would have been cool if that went into these motherfuckers being in the ocean, because the ocean's fucking huge. Like, it's like, how do you stop these? And you know what made it cool too is if, like, obviously if they're attacking people, that's like the main thing. But if they're attacking other sea life, like fucking sharks and shit, and whales here and there, sharks, all that other shit. So they're like, what the fuck's going on? And say, I don't know, they check the like the bite radius of the fish, and like, okay, well, this looks like the bite from a piranha. Oh no, piranhas don't go in the ocean. Maybe somebody's fishing, they catch a piranha, reel it in, but instead of them, say the piranha gets off, say they reel it in, get their hand bit or something, they're trying to take it off the thing, and it goes back in the water.
That'd be cool. I'll just see maybe a beach great white. Put a great white on the beach, and they're like, "What the hell killed a great white?"
Oh.
And they're thinking maybe, well, the birds got to it, this and that, so they can't really measure anything until like they see like maybe a fish comes out of the carcass, and they're like, "What the fuck is that? Is that a piranha?"
It's still alive?
Yeah,
you want to say? Okay, so yes, I like that too. I like that a lot.
But with the ocean, it's so big and huge, they'll just go anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
But, I loved how they ended it with the pan of the ocean. You got some people swimming or playing in it. Then you have the sound of the piranha, and then it just goes red. It's like, ha ha ha.
Yes.
That's awesome.
That was, oh man, that was great. That was so great. And
did you know there was a lawsuit with this movie and Jaws?
Really?
Yep. Since Jaws was made first, Roger Corman wanted to take the box office of Jaws and make his own film. So that's when they used Piranha instead. Well, I think it was Universal, whoever owned Jaws, was going to sue them. Not Steven Spielberg, but who directed Jaws? shit. Great. He saw the film
Hmm.
and he loved it. He said, "Nope, this is not a remake of my film, not a deal." So he said, "Just keep it the way it is." Oh yeah, it
Nice.
was Steven Spielberg, duh. And jeez.
It happens.
So Steven Spielberg saw the film. He loved it himself. He goes, "Nope, this is perfect. Leave it alone." And they dropped the lawsuit.
That's a fun little fact right there. I like that. So okay,
Which spawned many more aquatic horror films. Like
which
all these shark films are based off Jaws. Like the Italians made a bunch of shark movies. Uh, there's one movie called Cruel Jaws. Okay,
Cruel Jaws.
this movie is actually plagiarism to the extent. This movie takes scenes from Jaws 1, Jaws 2, The Last Shark, Deep Blood, and I think one more, and they make a movie out of certain scenes out of it.
Wow.
It's all plagiarism. You can only probably find like a bootleg of it. And I actually have a copy. I watch them going, "Holy shit, that's from Jaws 1 or that's from Jaws 2 and such and such." See, it's complete plagiarism all over it.
Wow.
That one got a lawsuit, and that's not allowed to be over in the U.S. Like no company can release that film.
That right there. That's just funny because it's like, why would you even do some dumb shit like that? Like nobody's gonna notice.
Right.
Like okay, you definitely stole scenes from these movies. Oh no,
They're
no.
trying to make a quick buck probably to say, "Hey, no one's going to notice this scene from Jaws. Let's throw that in there." And oh, we'll take this scene from Jaws too. We'll throw that. No one's probably heard of this movie. Let's throw a couple scenes from The Last Shark in there, or from Deep Blood. We'll throw a couple scenes from that in there and make our own little film. Nope,
And
they caught it.
it makes I do want to see it now just because you brought that up. Cruel Jaws. I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's so bad.
So jumping into back into the water with these fish, would you recommend these movies?
Abso-freaking-lutely.
I'm gonna have to say yes, I would also. And we did the rating. Um, what would you like? Here's the one I got for you: a matchup: Piranhas versus blank. Who do you fill in that blank with?
That's hard because piranhas will just devour anything and everything.
True.
Wow. Piranhas versus
And I don't
snakes.
snake. Oh, interesting.
Like have a bunch of aquatic snakes. Just if they can get together and team up, these snakes and go against the piranha. Who knows? Maybe like they'll fight each other and they both kill each other off, and that's how they end the film. These snakes are poisonous. They can bite, but if they get eaten, they send poison too. So maybe it's some kind of weird type of snake versus these piranhas. So
Mm.
that's what I'm gonna go for.
Snakes versus piranhas. That has a ring to it. It really does. Shit, I had one in mind. Damn. Wow. Now I have to think of one. I'm putting myself on the spot now. Piranhas. Let me think. Piranhas, piranhas, piranhas. Who would I want to see a piranha fight? Piranhas fight. Shit. What about sharks? Piranhas versus sharks.
There you go.
Just because I mean it would be a wacky, crazy movie. Wouldn't make no damn sense, which it doesn't have to.
Nope.
But I'll say to kind of make it make sense, we'll do like bull because a bull shark can go in fresh or salt water. So a bull shark. They're also as far as from what I've heard, like they're more aggressive sharks than great whites and all that. They're like the most aggressive shark. So
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm not sure if they go up the stream to breed or what they do when they go in the river. But they go in there, and let's say it's more than one shark because 100 piranhas versus one shark, the piranhas are gonna get that. A few piranhas will get eaten, but the piranhas are gonna get that. So let's say it's a few sharks and a bunch of piranhas and shit. They fucking fight to the death.
That'd be cool.
That'd be fun.
Oh, There is another movie out there that Sci-Fi Channel put out. I just remembered. It's called Piranha Sharks.
Piranha Sharks. Yeah,
It's
that's the one I was
the
talking about. On I found it on my Fire Stick earlier. I didn't watch it yet, but it's called Piranha Sharks because they have Jurassic Piranha, or no, sorry, Jurassic Shark and Piranha Shark.
maybe. Oh, oops, duh. I forgot all about that.
So I want to check those out. And let's with this, seeing as how we discussed the movies, I know you're thinking of something. I'll let you keep brainstorming, but let's think of some other fun animal matchups, land, air, or water, so to speak, if we can think of anything. And I'll throw. How about this? I'll throw out an animal. You throw out an animal. You want to see it fight. And I'm gonna say, shit. Let me think of a fucking animal now. I'll say aquatic. I'll say an alligator.
Okay. And then I gotta come up with what the alligator will fight.
Yeah.
Well, they already did a giant snake movie. They already did a shark movie against an alligator. Oh, I like to see a giant alligator versus a giant snapping turtle.
Ooh.
I don't know, just the shell will probably, if it's big enough, it'll protect it. But the snapping turtle can go against it and maybe have a cool fight. Like have the turtle, not like your basic turtle,
Mm-hmm.
but like a badass. Like it has spikes on the side. It can spin around. It can has this big sharp beak. It can be a little faster, like some kind of mutant type of turtle.
Well, I mean, I know they don't get. That's fun though. I know they don't get as big as a gator, but they do have alligators. So it can be like a mutated alligator snapping turtle because those do exist and they're fucking big and vicious and mean. That would be fun. It would have to be a few of them though. But like you're saying, a big giant mutated turtle, fucking another government experiment.
There you go.
Oh man. All right, you want to throw out an animal and then I'll guess, or I'll try to think of a matchup for it.
Jellyfish.
A jellyfish. This would be like a school of jellyfish. Okay.
hmm
What kind of? Wow, that's out there, man. That's something. I'll say a barracuda.
Okay.
Big jagged tooth motherfuckers, because the jellyfish they sting, and all that shit. That would be fun. I'm gonna go with polar bear.
Polar bear. A giant walrus.
Nice, fucking nice.
I know
Man.
if I work, but those walruses got those big ass
The fucking teeth thing, the
tusks,
tusks. Yes,
and it just maybe you could slap the polar bear around and they just battle each other out.
that would be fun. Because that can go. I like what you did there. Well, both of us, because that can go land or water, land and water.
Right.
So it's on you again, man.
All right. Let's do a. Oh man, it's kind of hard with a spot. We'll try to come up with some weird animal.
I know. I kind of have one in mind, but I want to see what you're gonna say first.
Let's go smaller. Let's do
Okay.
an insect like a centipede.
Ooh, centipede.
Yep.
Well, I'm gonna say a praying mantis.
That'll be cool.
That's interesting, right there. I wasn't even thinking insects. I was thinking my next one was actually gonna be a koala bear, or I had a koala bear versus something, or killer koalas. One or the other.
If you're going killer koalas, I gotta go. I got to have a fight against a killer kangaroo.
Man, that
We're
would
going on.
be ridiculously hilarious. Probably a horrible movie, but I'd watch it.
I would too.
A killer koala versus a killer kangaroo. That sounds like one of those things where you have killer koalas, killer kangaroos, and then you do the versus movie.
Yes.
It has to be in Australia. It
Yes.
has to be in Australia. Holy shit. Okay, so we both said we'd recommend this movie. I would definitely rewatch this movie again. And
I know how many times I've watched these films, so to me, it has a big rewatch value.
It really does.
All of them do. So I definitely would highly recommend checking these movies out.
Yes, yeah, definitely me too. Because like I said, they're fun movies, and it's just if you like you said, blood, boobs, and gore, you're gonna enjoy this movie. And throw some water in there, and it just it oh shit, what was I saying? Hang on. Okay, got my thoughts together. What I was trying to say was, it seemed like when you just hear the title of this movie, you're like, oh man, this movie's gonna be fucking stupid. It's gonna be corny. And you're watching it, you're like, this movie should not fucking work, but it works so well. How and
Mm-hmm.
why? Because it does. Like it just does. And it was good. It was really amazing. Probably one of the I mean, I know I say this a lot, but this is to me, and I know it's a different budget, different quality movie, but Thanksgiving's like one of my favorite freaking animal killer movies right now. And to me, it's up there with that movie. And for me, that's saying a lot. You've seen Thanksgiving, you know that budget wasn't expensive, but just I think like with Thanksgiving, the reason why I like that movie so much is the funny factor in that movie. Because that fucking turkey just, we have to do that. I know it's coming. We're gonna be doing this around November, people. I'm gonna say it now. We have a couple ideas coming up. I'm just gonna throw you this one right now because we're gonna discuss some more. But when holidays come up, we're either gonna do it for the month of that holiday or maybe like one or two episodes of holiday horror movies. Haven't decided 100% yet, but it'll be coming out there. And that was actually Matt's idea. So I can't freaking wait for that. Oh man, that's gonna be so fun. Is there any Independence Day horror movies?
There's Uncle Sam.
Okay.
That takes place on like 4th of July. Oh, that takes place more on 4th of July. Well, Independence Day is 4th of July, so yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you got the Independence Day movies. They're more sci-fi, but they're got that horror element, being alien invasion and everything.
I mean, yeah, true. If
Um,
if there's not too many, another thing I'm thinking right now, and yes, I know we're recording, but summer slashers. There's so many summer
that'll be fun.
slashers. Like you, where's that damn notebook? I actually wrote in it. You've seen it. But where is it? Like House Shark, Pool Party Massacre. Maybe we could do movies like that, like the real, you know, summer craziness slasher shit. But anything else you want to talk about that you got in mind, or
Pretty much no. Like, oh, I forgot to give my rating for the original Piranha. Whoops,
you did?
I
So
didn't. Ooh, wow, bad on me. I give this one an 8.5 out
okay,
of 10 for the original. It's great flick. Uh, Again, you got some boobs, you got some gore, you got a piranha eating right up that. There's a tit scene and a piranha's eating the tit. You're like, ow.
yes,
I watched the special features on that one and how they did it.
mm-hmm.
They actually had the piranha attached to sticks, so they can jab and everything to get underneath, because they had a lot of issues filming too, like water damaging the cameras.
Okay,
They couldn't get certain scenes right, and I actually got to meet Belinda Belinsky
really,
several years ago. She was the girl that gets killed by the piranha on the raft during the kid scene,
mm-hmm.
and she was telling me, and then I watched the commentary and the kind of like an interview with her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had piranha taped to her, so when she went under, the piranha were near her, so you could see the piranha like all taped around her, but you can't see the actual taping.
Wow,
So I'm like, oh, that's how they did that one. But
that's
when they were
interesting.
attacking the raft, they had piranhas on sticks, and the sticks were out of the water, so the piranha were underwater, and they were jabbing the sticks underneath to make it look like the piranha were attacking the logs. I'm like, that's a really cool idea.
That really is.
Like,
That's creative. That's again, it's like a practical effect though versus some CGI bullshit. So you just love it even more.
mm-hmm.
That's wow. So you give this one a 0.5 less than the other one.
Yes.
I gave them both the same rating. They're both fun movies, like we both said. Definitely rewatchable. Highly recommend to watch. And I really need to start watching more cheesy, if you want to call it that, animal movies, killing things or people.
Oh, I got a ton of killer animal films. That's like one of my favorite nature run amucks
They're so fun.
films. Oh,
So,
they're so much fun.
okay. Well,
Especially in the 70s. The 70s boomed since Jaws hit.
hmm
After Jaws hit, that's boomed the whole killer animal franchise, pretty much. Not franchise, but the whole
like that genre of it,
the genre. That's the word.
which
Jeez.
makes sense because it's like everybody wants to do what's hot. Like speaking of Jaws, Jaws was like one of the fucking biggest blockbusters of all time. So
Hmm.
everybody's like, you know what? They came out with a fucking shark movie. I'm gonna come out with a fucking piranha movie. I'm gonna come out with a fucking whatever killer eagle. Wow.
If you've seen the movie Grizzly, they took a bear and they did it on the vein of Jaws, but instead of being in the water, they did it on land,
Ooh,
which was pretty cool.
nice. I may have to check that out.
You never seen Grizzly?
I didn't. I did hear about it recently,
Oh,
but I didn't see it.
oh,
Grizzly.
Grizzly's awesome.
Oh shit.
It's another one of those. It's a remake of Jaws, but this one instead of being on water, it's on land, but it's a giant grizzly bear doing all the attacks and everything. But it's not like back to back of Jaws though. There's differences, but
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you mean though.
then it had like what Day of the Animals came out. That's got a couple killer hawk scenes.
I want to
Uh,
see a freaking. Now that you mentioned, I want to see a killer bird movie.
uh, Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. That's one. You have Caw, which was a sci-fi channel about killer ravens.
Wow.
Let's see, killer birds. There's one called Beaks. That was an Italian version of the birds. Bunch of birds just killing people. Let's see, what else was there for birds? There's one about giant, like prehistoric ostrich birds.
Nice. That right there
It's a sci-fi channel flick.
caught my fancy right there. There's just I don't know.
Just stay away from Birdemic. Oh my god, that movie's just. There's two of them. They're awful.
They're awful.
Oh, awful.
That's oh man. The animal ones, they're just so freaking. They're funny too. That's another thing
Hmm.
because they're so wild and crazy and make no fucking sense, but they're funny and they work. And again, I know I keep bringing it up, people, but thanks killing. Go watch that one and go watch part 3, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm gonna soon. And it's just like with that movie alone, the turkey scenes. Every time the turkey's in the scene, I'm damn near laughing because it looks ridiculous. It looks horrible, and it's just I'm just like, how the fuck? Oh, I don't want to. I'll wait till we get into that movie, till we talk about that movie to get into it, because there's so many. That movie has so many quotes. Like, I'm definitely gonna make sure I have these quotes for this movie. No, fucking first. All right, last thing I'm gonna say about it for now. First fucking scene of the movie. First line. Nice tits, bitch. The very first line. I was just like, when I seen that and heard that, and I've said this before, I'll probably say it again. I was like, I'm in. I am in. Yes. I'm glad I freaking found this. Actually, my boy from work, my boy James, shout out to James, is the one who told me about this movie. So shout out to him. And man, we can I'll talk to you for a little bit though, but we can end this episode now, man, if you want. You got anything
Okay.
else you want to say, or you good?
I'm pretty good.
All right, man. You can go ahead and plug your podcast, plug your page, plug your Instagram. We can go from
Okay,
there.
again, if you haven't, please check out my YouTube channel, which is You and Your Horror Movies. I'm also on Instagram. Same thing, without any spaces. For some reason, Instagram doesn't like spaces. So it's You and Your Horror Movies. Also, if you haven't checked out another podcast I'm on called Cinema Attack, where it's on horrorphilia.com, where we talk about all different types of cinema and we attack it pretty much.
Yes, they definitely do. Um, just to go on Matt, I watched a little bit of his YouTube videos. He knows his shit, so go check that out.
Thank you.
His Instagram is fun. He just got on there not too long ago, but he's still building on there. But his Instagram is fun. Check him out on there. Check out their podcast. Their podcast is fun. I listened to a few episodes of that, and I enjoyed every single episode that I listened to so far. And there will be, like we have discussed this. I've talked to Matt. I've talked to I don't remember who I talked to on your podcast, but we're gonna do some. We're gonna be doing some cross-plat podcasts or whatever the hell you want to call it in the future,
Nice.
and I can't wait for that. And I actually want to discuss more about that when we end this episode. So, you already know where you can find me, Horror with Sir Sturdy on Facebook. My page, go like that. The group, join that. I'm on Instagram. It's horror _ Sir _ Sturdy. They don't like spaces or dots apparently on Instagram, so go check me out on there. If you're into horror video games and all that, and you play the PS4. What the hell's my PSN? I think it is Sir Sturdy.
I think it is too.
But I can just double check. Yes, it is. Sorry, it's Sir _ Sturdy. Again, they don't like periods or freaking spaces, so check me out on there. Matt's also on there. What's your PSN again?
It's horror _ collector. And I pretty much just play Paladins. I just bought another game. I bought a Sega Genesis collection.
Okay.
But I try to find some cool horror films. Like I bought Friday the 13th for the PlayStation 4. That's pretty fun. It's hard.
Yeah, I need to get that. Right now, my main one I've been playing is Resident Evil 5 for the PS4.
Oh, nice. It's on there?
Yeah, and you've played it before, right? For the older system?
I played the older ones.
Resident Evil 5 is fun. It's a co-op game. There's more you could do in it, but I highly recommend Part 5. Man, shit, you get it. Me and you can play on there.
Cool.
But anyway, people, we're going to get going. So, again, Instagram, Facebook. You got our YouTubes, which my YouTube is Horror with Sir Sturdy. I told you the Instagram, told you the Facebook. And soon, within the next few days, I am going to make a Twitter, and I'll let you guys know about that because I'm trying to get this podcast spread out everywhere. And Matt, again, man, thank you so much for being on.
No problem. Thank you for having me again. It was awesome.
Fucking great-ass time. And everybody else, if you're still listening, thank you for listening. Keep downloading, keep sharing, keep spreading the love, keep the support up. I really appreciate it. And as always, I'll see you in your night.